This is the trading review for the 3rd of August 2022. It was a complicated day. I was watching AMD and Apple, but Apple ran from R4 within the first 5 minutes. It never really offered me a chance to make an entry, so I didn't trade it. The only pullback we had was to R5, and then we work around the 5 minute. But you you really want to make an entry at R5. Today was a special day. We just rally up all day, and that just made it complicated for me to make entries, especially due to the fact that I'm not very good at longs. But yeah, the market just got pulled, and we didn't really had a reversal opportunity. We did it once at 10:15, but then SPY just returned across R4 and just continue all day. So it was a complicated day if you were looking to make a rational entry, and I kind of forced my first two Apple trades. I did have a nice doji here, but it was on very little volume. And usually you want to see large volume when you have a doji like this. And mostly this was caused by my fear of missing out. First of all, this run up across R6 is with a lot of bulls. You can see the increase in volume. So these are not shorts covering up, these are longs. So people have a strong long bias on this stock. And we had the doji with the most volume, but we didn't have the setup on the 1 minute to take it at 10:05. So we have this large candle and then this doji, but we had a nice pullback, but not our setup. And then the first trade I took, it was done on a whim. We did have a doji here, but it was like 1/3 of the average volume that we had so far. So it wasn't necessarily the best entry. Plus the moving averages were already curling up. So I made my entry a bit on anticipation, and of course I got stopped out right away. And we pull up, and then we return once again, and we form a nice hammer with a fairly long wick, but the body is still a bit fat. And when you have such a solid body, it's not the best to try and get out. It's not the best to play this setup. We did have a negative slope of the moving averages and a nice rejection of 164, but I was just forcing the setup on the 15 minutes. We had a doji, but I was just forcing the trade. Plus we didn't have a nice level 2. Apple was very correlated to SPY, so maybe I should have traded another stock. And so I made my entry at the pretty much at the break of the 5 minute. Kind of nice drop. We had a nice drop of 30 cents, 32 cents, but we didn't partial. I don't think we got a 80, so I had a stop loss of 13 cents. I think we had a move to 2R or close to 2R, but I didn't partial because I was waiting for at least a move of 2-3R for my first partial, but it didn't work and we got stopped out. And then we had another doji here, and I think this could have been a much better entry. And you can see the timing of this entry was great. We actually had a drop to a little bit more than 2R here, and had this been my first trade, maybe I would have stopped out. I would have gotten allowed here at a little bit more than 2R, but I was still waiting for that 3 to 4R trade because I wanted to recover my previous losses. Maybe it would have been best to get out and then look for another trade, but that's not how you're supposed to trade. You're supposed to trade based on the setup and based on your strategy. So we didn't hit 3R, at least 163.20, and then I got out to break even because once again we were trading above the moving averages, and the stock was just very bullish. SPY was bullish, so this trade was the best one, but it's irrelevant because I got out at break even, so statistically it doesn't affect my records. So it's no reason to. It doesn't really affect anything this trade. That I got out at break even, but I had two losses. Um, I think these were C trades. The first one was a fail. Really. Oh, I didn't. Mm, I need to get the link. The first one was a fail. Sure. Bearish. We open inside, but we just freaking rallied up from the beginning. -1. No, not really. No. No volume signal actually. Yes, yes, yes. No, this is a very important rule and didn't happen. CF, yes. One rule. This one is a C trade, I guess. Short, outside, bearish, inside, -1. I think I got a nice rejection, yes. We improved a little bit, but technically we did not break rule here. And the last trade I took was on Meta, so the price action on Apple just wasn't giving anything. And then I got very lucky. After I got back from the doctor, I looked at Meta, and we had a nice rejection here on the 1 minute candle. We had a kind of a triple top, and we seem to have been struggling to break higher. I did notice that I missed a really good opportunity at at 11:45. I wasn't here, but then I noticed this hammer with high volume, and it was at 12:50, and I was very tempted to make my entry at 169, but I didn't. We pulled back, we struggled. We threw this candle here that told me that we were having a strong rejection. We were exhausted, and on the 15 minutes we closed with a doji here, so it's a strong signal for a reversal with a hammer, with a true hammer, a small body, and then the next candle was a doji. So I felt pretty confident that, you know what, we will have a drop here, and I was paying close attention to the 1 minute moving averages. And after this sideways action, I knew we were just gonna lose it. And this 5 minute candle, this formation is a bit weird. We didn't close exactly with a doji, but we were struggling to make higher highs, especially from off of this hammer. So So I took this trade based entirely off of the 1 minute candle, but you can see that we had a 5 minute break, especially from this BPA area, from this BPO volume point of control area on the 1 minute and the 5 minute. So we were rejecting to the downside, and we had the moving averages. So I just trusted my knowledge and took it short at the break of the 1 minute, 5 minute, with a stop loss of 13 cents, I believe it was, 13, 14 cents. Yeah, 13 cents it was. And then partial 3R, I believe. Yeah, around 3R, 4R. No, I think I partial first at 4R and then at 7, 8R, I believe. So we had a really nice drop, and I could have held it longer, but I was already, I already had like 3 trades. This will be my 4th trade, so we had a lot of volume coming here. So I knew that there will be a strong pullback after such a large volume, which we did get, but then we rejected the 9 moving average and dropped all the way to 167.60, and that was the last 167.30. That was the last push down, and then we returned to value. But this was an excellent trade, very difficult, but I like that it wasn't made out of just fear. This trade was not made out of fear. It was made out of what? Okay. It was made out of analysis. This decision was based entirely of my reading of the longer time frames, the 15 minutes, and the 1 minute candle, and the 5 minute candle. So it was all based on information they had from the market. So that this is one of my favorite trades I have taken, because I had to use my knowledge and my analysis to not make a prediction, but to make a reading of the market that turned out to be correct. So I'm very happy with that. We open Meta. Yeah, we open outside of Meta. So it worked. It gave me 6.1 hour actually. 6 hour. We did make an entry. Yes. I think we recover from that. So very unfortunate that we had a rough start once again, but that's how trading is, and we had a double goal day. So our week is looking pretty nice at the moment. We had our first loss the first day. On Tuesday we had a 2.2 hour day, and today we have a 4 hour day. So I'm very happy. I'm disappointed that I forced the first 2 trades. We failed to take high quality setups. That's not. I'm not very proud of that. So that's not good. But we are working on it. We're not perfect, but a good trading day at the end, I guess. That's the only thing I can learn from today, that despite the losses, you just have to trust the system and your understanding of the market to take trades, and eventually you're gonna get a winner, and in this case a really good runner that you can use to make up all the losses, so you end up the day on a positive note, very positive note actually. So I'm very happy about that, and we'll see how tomorrow goes.